Hello, everybody. This is Boxing Bros UK. I am his Chris. This is my co-host, Andrew the Boxing Brain.
Hello.
Today's topic is the fight review of Zurdo Ramirez versus Billiam Smith for unification of the cruiserweight belt. Billiam Smith got the WBO and Zurdo had a WBC, right?
WBA.
Oh, sorry, WBA. WBA.
Yeah.
So, so let's get straight into it. What did you make of the fight?
Oh, where do I start with this one? This was a lovely little palate cleanser after the debacle spectacle, however you want to put it, of the main event early Saturday morning UK time. Now this was a proper cruiserweight fight. I know Jake Paul, we shouldn't mention him in this video, but he wants a campaign around that weight. Jesus, imagine him against one of these two. Jesus Christ. Where to begin on this? Well, Zurdo made an absolute fan of me. I watched his last fight anyway, but he made an absolute fan of me in this fight. And it's difficult to know where to start, really. I thought Billiam Smith came out quite well. Established his jab. He looked like he rocked Zurdo a couple of times. I thought, oh, hello. Okay, he seemed to sort of weather the storm. Yeah, looked quite sharp. And then just systematically, Zurdo just started to take over. And I just thought, and we'll go into more detail, I'm sure, but I love the little kind of pivot. So he kind of came into range and then just pivoted to his right quite a lot of the time, peppering him with shots. You know, his ring IQ and ring craft, his shot selection, the angles, you know, just touching him and then coming with a massive body shot. And he just sort of broke Chris down, didn't he? Who showed terrific heart, as we knew he would. Cut his eye bad, Chris, didn't he? And he was game right to the end. But And it was just, I think Chris just sort of ran out of ideas. Like, I think because some of his best work is to close the gap, tuck up and try and get some of his work off out of a high guard. But then he kept coming back out of range, Zurdo chasing him down, teeing off on him. And he just couldn't sort of consistently keep that work going. And I think he was just knackered. He looked absolutely dog-tired by the end of the fight, Billiam Smith, didn't he? Well, he did to me anyway. He looked like he was blowing out his mouth heavy. Zurdo looked like he could have gone another 4 or 5 rounds, to be honest. So that's my general kind of loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, same. It was a really, really good fight. I'd like to say, obviously, with life and work and stuff, didn't have time to do a preview. But if we did, we were both picking Zurdo to win this fight. We didn't really know much about him, but watched his last fight against that hard-hitting cruiserweight that he fought, and the way that he fought in that fight, I thought, CBS is going to lose. I knew he was going to lose, and then we're watching the fight, and CBS wins the first 2 rounds pretty comfortably. I thought landed the better shot, started fast, started hard, and then Zurdo, the footwork, the lateral movement, the shot selection, setting traps like you were saying, like bang, hard to the body. And this is the thing, he's a special fighter, Zurdo. And if you look at his career, he's fought on the highest levels, the highest occasions, but he's got great footwork, great lateral movement. His power is decent. It's not like destructive power, but it's decent. And you can't time Zurdo. You can't time him because he's feinting. He's moving this way. He's moving that way. He keeps you guessing. So that's why CBS looked knackered as well, because he couldn't figure him out. He didn't know what he was going to do. There was no right, he's going to step in, he's going to throw one. oh, he's going to step in this way. He couldn't time him. And like CBS, he couldn't make the adjustments. There was no adjustments to be made. Like, Zurdo was like James Brown, like, well, this way, that way, this way. Come on, like, it was all over. It was all over him. And Billiam Smith, the more he was getting hit, the more he can't think straight. And then sometimes he was stepping back in straight lines with his chin in the air because he just was that fox. Like, so he wasn't, weren't he? He weren't like stepping back to the side, like just like a robot and getting pinged. So he just it was an excellent performance by Zurdo. And he just really showed the world now what he can do. Billiam Smith, he's a warrior, and he hung in there. He finished the fight, but it's just I think that's his level now. But I think obviously CBS was I don't like to say this, an overachiever.
Oh no, he is. I think that's fair enough to say. I mean, I want to add as well. I keep name dropping him. I need to stop it. But potential future of the cruiserweight division, Joshua Antonio, my fellow housemate, they're really big fans of him as a person as well, because they told me on Fight Night when I was watching it with them that Billiam Smith invited Josh to come earn some money sparring him when a lot of people weren't. And they got a lot of respect for him for that. And they said he was a real gentleman. His alias is very true. Warrior in the ring, one of the best hearts and chins you'll ever see.
Yeah.
And but outside of the ring, just a real friendly, super lovely guy. So it's an interesting contrast. So you got this warrior spirit in the ring and just a really lovely, lovely guy outside of it. So I want to shout out that. But I wanted to comment off the back of what you were saying there about where he couldn't figure him out. People, I think, underestimate this in the fight game about, punching and missing wears you out, throwing too many shots, punching yourself out, using a lot of your footwork. But actually, I think people don't take into account the psychology, mentally trying to understand, like Zurdo, people who maybe didn't see the fight but are watching our review. Zurdo is very, very cleverer than I thought, just in terms of you don't really know what he's going to do next, and he's sort of almost half spider-like crouching down, and then he'll pivot away and he's on, and then he's hitting you from different angles. Then he'll maybe come with an uppercut and a jab and to the body, and then he'll start putting his hands in the punching lanes to confuse you. Then he'll go with another body shot. And if you're encountering that round after round, Chris, as your opponent, mentally you must just get drained. It must be like watching a football team just pass the ball all the time. You're like, I can't be bothered keep chasing this around. Yeah. And I think I wanted to add that because people don't always realise it's the mental. Sometimes the mental fatigue can get you. And I think it was a combination. He was being hit a lot, trying to work out what Zurdo was trying to do and giving 100%. And he was absolutely fucked. He couldn't have done. What could he have done, Chris, anymore? I mean, it's easy to sort of say, all right, he could have done this, could have done that. I don't really know what else he could have done.
And the thing is, like you say, CBS's game is, like, let's get in the pocket and swing it out. And this is another thing that Zurdo did. In the first 2 rounds, he did that. It wasn't doing so well. So when he got him gassed out a bit, and CBS thought, if I get him in the pocket, he's going to run away. Then Zurdo was staying in the pocket and swinging out with him. And because CBS was a bit knackered, he was swinging out with him. It was like getting really low, like you say, like a spider, going underneath the jab. And he was winning the exchanges in the pocket because he'd worn it down a bit. So then CBS's main game plan, I'll wear you down or whatever, and then I'll get you in close quarters. That couldn't work. He couldn't do that because he was too knackered, and Zurdo was fresh and too good in the pocket. And that Zurdo's very, very tough. So when you think, right, if I get him in the pocket, he's going to try and run away, and it's my time to try and get some off. And then he's like, actually, I've decided that I'm going to stay in the pocket. I'm going to swing it with you. That's another mental thing. I can't even do this now. I can't even. And then
which isn't his style. He uses his little bit of extra size advantage. Zurdo would just go full Mexicana and just chase you around the ring. So you can't do that
just
either.
Absolutely just took everything away from CBS, and then in the end, he couldn't do anything. It just a simple fact. He just wasn't good enough to beat Zurdo, and that's just it. He outclassed him.
Sometimes it's easier. We want to, as analysts, sort of go, especially for our guys, go, oh, maybe they could have done this and should. Honestly, I don't know. I'm going to watch it again as well because it was that good. I think it's one of them. Sometimes you have to take your hat off and go, do you know what? I gave 100%. The other guy's just better than me. And a lovely little touch after the fight, Chris went and got, which shows what he's about. He went and got his belt and gave it to him, didn't he? Did you see that? Gave him his belt.
Yeah.
You know,
this guy.
And he almost as if you say, look, fair play to you, mate. You're just better than me. And do you know what? You can walk away, Chris, with your head held high saying, you know, I got fucking my face beaten up. I tried to sort of try different adjustments. I was absolutely dog-tired. I couldn't have given any more. It is what it is. Sometimes that's just how it goes.
He just couldn't win that fight. And as well, if you look at Zurdo's career, I know a lot of his fights were at super middle. The guy's had 45 fights. The guy's a free-weight division world champion. He's used to fighting high-caliber fighters under the lights. So he's no joke. Like I reckon he should have really CBS. He should have fought Jay Opataya and got beat by him because he would have got more money for it.
Yeah, well, hindsight's the best sight, as you say, Chris, and they say.
I don't think that CBS's team. I think they thought that he's got more chance of beating Ramirez than Jay Opataya, and I don't think he's got a chance of beating any of them.
Probably, yeah. I mean, he maybe should have gone for that Romania. Was he Romanian or German? I can't remember. The WBC. Maybe should have gone down that route. But do you know what? He probably got a good couple of mil for this fight. Go to Saudi Arabia. Turned out to be a good undercard. Good night. In terms of, I don't know if I'm jumping the gunny, but in terms of like, we know where Zurdo, obviously, there's no point discussing where he goes next. We know what he wants to do. He wants to unify all the belts, undisputed, all the rest of it at cruiser. What for CBS now, Chris? And I'll pose this to you. He's 34. He's been in a lot of wars. He's taken a lot of damage. You know, he's become a world champion. He's probably reached his ceiling when he got that brilliant win. You know, he's got a young child, family. I'm sort of setting this up so you probably know where I'm going. 34. What does he need to do now? Where do you think he goes? Because for me, unless he just wants to top up the bank balance, I don't think he needs to do anything really. Does he need to rebuild and regroup? I don't think so. He could retire and go down in great memory for me. So that's where I sit on it. But
the thing is, he should retire because he's fulfilled his dream. He's won a world title in his football stadium of his home team, Bournemouth. He's done that. Checks off the list. He's defended it a few times. Tried to unify because now he hasn't got a belt. The only thing he can do is, if he really, really doesn't want to quit, he can try and go after that Romanian and see if he can beat him. But other than that, I don't know much about this Romanian, so I can't comment on it. But other than that,
I can think of, actually, something Tundai said. Maybe a big domestic final dust-up with Anthony Yard moving up to cruiser. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Do you know what?
Stadium fight. Could be a good, really good fight.
Tundai did say, I'm going to be there in Saudi watching the fight. And he said CBS versus Anthony Yard is a big fight. And it is a big fight in England. Yard's up to cruiserweight. Yeah, that would be a good fight. Like a good fight like that, or try and work his way up the rankings on the other governing body and fight that Romanian if he wants to. But if I was him, he's a nice fellow, he's got a family, I'd retire. He's done all his dreams, he's been a world champion, he's won the belt and defending the belt in front of all his Bournemouth fans. He's done everything he could ever, he's done more than he could ever dream of. Because don't forget, this ain't a professional boxer who's gone through the amateurs, gone to the Olympics. This is a guy who was at uni, doing degrees and shit. Like a really nice man. And boxing was like his hobby that he turned into to make it pro. And that's why he's been an overachiever, but one hell of an overachiever. So he's achieved more than he could dream of in boxing. So he should retire.
As we always say, you know, hard work beats talent when talent don't work hard. And Chris Billiam Smith does have a bit of talent to go with the hard work. I'm not suggesting he's not talented, because definitely got some talent. But his main skill set is hard work, graft, chin and heart. And it just goes to show you can get very far in life in your career of choice just through grind. You might have a little bit of lack of ability against the Jaya Patayas of this world and naturally talented guys, but you can still become a champion in your field just for a never say die attitude. And he's a great example of that, and a great example compared to someone like Jake Paul. I mentioned him again. Jake Paul is a great example compared to someone like him. None of the flash, none of the show. You saw that with the ring walk as well. Very focused. That's the type of guy I would like my daughter, who's already started boxing, which is a bit concerning. I would like her to be inspired by someone like him, because he shows a path of, look, all right, you might not be the most skilled guy in your gym, in your boxing gym, but look at what you can do just with sheer grit and determination. And he's a great product of that.
Hard work, dedication. Hard work, dedication. Hard work, dedication. That you can achieve a lot through that with less of the talent. But yeah, there's his next fights really. Anthony Yards, or try and win that other cruiserweight title and stay the hell away from Pataya and Zurdo.
Yeah, before Zurdo. Just a quick thought, Chris, before we just because I think our viewers might like this, because they'd like us, I'm sure, not to sit on the fence. Zurdo, Jaya Pataya, who wins?
Oh, if this fight happens, I'm gonna go Jaya Pataya still, but it's no joke. It's a close fight, but I'm still gonna say Jaya Pataya. Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably go again. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Zurdo would win that fight because of his experience, his ability.
If I wouldn't be shocked.
The younger, fresher.
Yeah,
I'd still probably go with, at this stage, if they were to fight next, I'd probably go Jaya Pataya, but a narrow split decision. And I think you'll have to go life and death with him, because I think Zurdo's like I say, I'm a big fan of his. But yeah, so we'll both go Jaya Pataya, but only just.
Yeah, just small margin. Like, I'm leaning towards him. It's like, because obviously, I just think
one or two rounds.
Yeah, like Jaya Pataya, he hits hard and he's faster. He's got faster feet, faster hands.
Yeah, hits hard, Chris. Definitely.
Yeah. So that's it. But next for Zurdo, we know he wants to unify, but do you think he's going to go after a Romanian, or is he going to go after Jai?
That's a good question. I'd imagine, and again, I'll put my boxing promoter business head on, what would make more sense would be to go after, claim the WBC belt, maybe go after that, unless Jaya Pataya's got ambitions of getting that one before. I'm not sure what the current climate of politics are, but I would say claim that WBC belt, if at all possible, and then it makes the Jaya Pataya fight even bigger. I think it makes that even bigger, so even more of a spectacle.
And don't forget, if he gets that belt, the WBC belt, he'll have 3 belts. That makes for, even though it's an undisputed fight, he gets more money because he's got 3 of the belts and Jai's only got 1.
And he deserves it. I really like Jaya Pataya as well, man. I think he's a good man as well, from what I gather. But I really like that Zurdo. I don't know. He's in my top. Liam Parrow, Zurdo, and someone else, I can't remember that. Anyway, they're in my kind of current top 3 favourite fighters. So there we are.
I like his style. Like he moves around, boxes, and if you want to swing it out, it will swing it out. And
he can do everything. He can pretty much. He can do it all. If you want to run away from him, okay, we'll close the ring off and we'll do it that way. If you want to trade with him, no problem. My chin will stand up. We'll have a go that way, and I'll use my ring craft.
Like,
if you want to whatever you kind of bring, he's got that experience, I think, and know how to go. Okay, we'll mix it up that way then. So whereas Billiam Smith's a bit more of a one-dimensional type fighter, and I mean that respectfully. He's not really going to have too many options in the ring, whereas someone like Zurdo, he's got a lot of tools in his arsenal to be able to, a bit like Usyk, not comparing him with Usyk, but how many times do we see this, Chris? These tricky bloody southpaws.
Yeah.
You know, but again, he's got that Usykness of, okay, you want to go down that route, we'll go this way then. Do you know what I mean? He's got that kind of thing about him.
Yeah, that's why he's such a great fighter. Like you say, he can do everything. He can box in the back foot, he can box in the front foot, he can pressure fight you, he can close the ring. He's just got all the tools. Like, he's a special fighter. Yeah. But obviously, he wouldn't be a 3-weight world champion if he wasn't. He's got 45 fights, 46 now, all that experience. Hats off, really good Zurdo. Moving on. That's it from us. I hope you liked our insights. Please like and subscribe. And obviously, what a war and what a good show they put on for us, eh? Both.